Hey there, my name is Pravus, and welcome back to more Humankind. We are currently playing as the Egyptian culture in the ancient era, and I think we're honestly off to a reasonably good start. I feel like we've got a pretty hefty amount of industry, terrible in many other stats, but industry is kind of king right now. We can make up for a lot of other deficits using very high industry, so right now, I feel pretty decent about things. One thing I feel like we are really lacking is a good amount of influence. I need lots of influence so I can start taking over additional tiles and add them into my city, or at least create some new cities, because ideally you want to get up to your city cap pretty much as quickly as you can, maybe even going one over. It just costs you a bit of influence. It's not the end of the world. So I really want to get a second city. We could try to do that with here in Polis, but that would cost me 160 influence to do, and I don't know if that's necessarily worth it. I do want to claim this for these strategic resources, though. That's going to end up being very important. Now, the very astute amongst you might notice that things look a little different from where I ended the last video. These guys, for example, aren't horribly injured, and we actually have a bit of extra money. That's because, apparently, the record button I use, the hotkey, is also the quick load, so it just reloaded the last autosave. Oops, and then the enemy did not attack me this time around, so, yeah, I got a slight do-over there, but it was not my intention to cheat that at all, so, haha, do apologize. Let's go ahead and move on to the next turn. One turn left on Memphis to get some lumber yards, which means we should get a pretty good amount of extra stuff. Now are we under attack? Yup, now we are under attack. Okay, so hopefully this time we can have a far more decisive battle. So you are going to go... Well, first off, what's going on here? Yeah, we didn't do a manual battle. We want to move you here. Well, the thing is... Okay, hang on. So once again, I'm in a spot where I want him to come down off of the high ground so I don't take any extra hits there. So I think we go ahead and move our units like this and end deployment. He's going to run down toward me because, you know, they're the aggressors. It's kind of what they do. And then I'm going to go ahead and just hit him from here. And actually what we could have done is try to go up to the high ground and maybe attack him that way, and that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. But the only ramp is what they are currently guarding, so maybe that's actually not a great idea. I'm going to defend with these guys. They're going to attack me again, but hopefully they just take a lot more hits. We're going to hit you one more time, and then using these guys, I think we want to try to run away. And I think the zone of control should protect me there. It does not. Okay. Well, great. So we both lost a unit out of that. Thanks, buddy. That was so worth it, wasn't it? Oh, well. We do get technically a little bit of progress toward one of these stars. It just would have been nice to save my other unit. But the zone of control did not exist. I was very wrong that that existed. Okay, so if I wanted to place down another district, we're looking at 80 influence required. That means in... Oops, that's not where I meant to go. No, 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 no! Means in about 2 turns, we will be able to place down another outpost, specifically heading toward those horses. Let's start getting down this way as fast as we can. I'm a little concerned, but we have to get to the river, unfortunately. No options. You guys are just going to keep heading this direction. Just don't get attacked by a mammoth, and I think things will be fine. I mean, we could attack the mammoth, but, like, what do we really gain for attacking the mammoth except for some experience on scout units, right? I just don't see a whole lot of benefit there. We'll set you guys to auto-explore, let them do their thing for a little bit. You know, that'll be fine. That'll probably be fine. All right, one more turn then on Memphis. We will want to get some archers going kind of soon, because I think we're going to need some extra military units to defend me. One thing we could do, by the way, is use an ability here called Land Raiser, and for the next 5 turns, we would convert all of our science and money into extra industry, which is nice, but oh well. We did just gain an extra 8 industry for finishing out the lumberyard, so that's great. Now we're working on a farmer's quarter to get a little extra food so we can start growing again. That's going to take 2 turns. If I were to go ahead and move over here, we can shave off a few turns of growth and still build this in 2 turns. Alternatively, we can shave off a couple more turns on science to get masonry sooner. I think that's going to be the play, so we're going to focus harder on the science. Let's see. As far as civics, there's not much we can do on this, so we'll come back to some cultural policies probably a bit later. And the armies, where are... Okay, so you're already heading up here. So these guys are auto-exploring. They're going this direction, and then you guys are going to go this direction. I think this is mostly going to be money, but I'm looking for anything good. Anything at all. All right, moving on. Next turn. It's just so important to me that we get these horses. You know? I mean, I actually, in my first ever game of Humankind, which was the last game that I played, I found myself in a weird situation where I had uranium, but I couldn't build knights because there wasn't any meaningful amount of iron on the map. It was kind of ridiculous. I'm not going to lie. I was a little distraught about that situation. A little bit distraught. Let's go ahead and move the units. So these guys are heading over this way. You're supposed to be heading over here. There we go. We find some gold and stuff. Okay. What else we get? More gold. That's all we got, I think. Okay. More horses over here. Okay, that's good to know. And also some extra luxury resources. Gemstones, porcelain. So to the west, there are potentially some resources that I would like to have. I'm going to start sending this guy back home because he's injured. No reason to risk him at the moment. You can't quite grab this. I'll let you do that next turn. We're about to finish up another food quarter, okay, which means we're up to 13 food. So note, by the way, that just for a couple of turns of that industry, getting myself an extra farmer's quarter, we are now producing more food than 2 people would be able to produce. Like, to me, it's objectively almost always better to be building quarters and districts rather than trying to get people moving over to food, unless you find yourself in really dire straits. Now, let's see. My stability is currently at 100%. It's going down toward 80%. So adding on extra districts is starting to hurt my stability a bit. Every extra district is only going to make this worse, is the one really bad thing. That said, I also don't think we can get any archers and stuff yet. We could start working on public ceremonies, which basically just lets us get extra food, but I don't think that's worth it. So, extra food or extra industry? I mean, as a general rule, it's going to end up being industry. So, if we're going to have to build a district, let's go for the extra plus 15 off in that direction. Once we connect these 2 cities up, this is only going to get worse, by the way. So, let's see. Over here, we find, once again, some more, gold. All right, fine. And over here, this is where they're recommending it. 11 and 13. Is it fantastic? No. Is it acceptable? Yeah. So let's go ahead and move off in that direction. Got another achievement. Thank you, Xbox. Don't know why you waste your time with that, but I appreciate it. Let's see if we can get up over here. We're still stuck. Is this? No, that's not a volcano. Saw the red on top of a mountain and thought, oh, cool, volcano. We found some more gold over this direction. Gold is something you just don't need to produce in the early game almost ever, I think. It's just pretty much always going to be better to just keep exploring the map. You usually find more than you can produce, and you really need that. You really need that industry. So that's masonry done, which means we can now use forced labor. So citizens work hard, allows population to be consumed. I think that's not useful to me right now. And then stoneworks, so we can get some extra industry on mountains, stone fields, and rocky fields. Now I know we have mountains. Wait a minute, do we? Am I an idiot? Hang on, we might be an idiot. These are cliffs, not mountains. These are mountains. Dry grass. Looking to see if we have, like, any rocky fields. Stone field. Within range of what I'm doing right now, it's mostly going to be these mountains. So we can increase at least a little bit of industry by building a stoneworks, but not a lot. Not an absolute ton. Something we need to get is city defense. And if we go up to technology here, getting organized warfare is extremely important because it allows you to take armies and reinforce each other. And if we do find ourselves under attack, we're going to wish that we had the ability to send in reinforcements rather than have to deal with them little bit by little bit. Now, at the same time, let's see. If we go for domestication, this could be worth a lot of food for horses if we build up a second city in that location. Extra food on farmers' quarters? Yeah. And then there's calendar, market quarters. And we can extract luxury resources. We do have a luxury. It's incense. It's worth money, but also a little stability. There's a couple of these. Actually, I don't think we're at risk of being attacked right now. I think we are indeed going to go for a calendar so we can try to get the artisans' quarters built up, and that's going to get me some extra luxuries for just raw boosts. Granary, I still don't think is going to be very important, but oh well. This will also lead into irrigation, which means extra food on rivers. We do have rivers, and public fountains for stabilities, which we will need at some point as well. So this is not actually doing what I wanted it to. There we go, calendar. There we go. Okay, now it's working. Now it's working. Good. So, you're on your way. We want you to go do your thing. So let's go ahead and start that construction and claim that territory now. You're going to head down over this way. You're going to head up this way. We found another player. Hello. We met the Hittites. Okay. Found some science as well as some influence. Influence is really what I'm gunning for here, so that's fantastic. We probably don't want to stick up here for too long. Let's go ahead and just start moving off in this direction. I just don't see any reason to get too far away from my own territory. You know what I mean? Just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So we have placed an outpost. It's going to take 3 turns. Do I also have enough to just go ahead and attach this? And the answer is yes. Let's go ahead and attach that to Memphis then. Now we have access to 3 citizens. So we could greatly reduce... Well, we can't reduce our science that much. What about growth? We don't need to do that either. I guess we might as well just do some science in order to speed this up a little bit. Sure, why not? Okay, next turn. That's going to be a pretty big boost for the city. Memphis is a very, very large, powerful city right now. 91 industry at this stage of the game. Pretty good. And we now can start building some extra Egyptian pyramids off in this direction. Not that any of these are especially good locations. This is okay. This one's okay, too, but we lose a bit of food by doing some of these things. The game doesn't seem to think that's a very good idea. Well, we'll come back to some of that later. We first got to finish up this. And do we want to go for the infrastructure for the mountains? I mean... maybe. If we were to build, let's say, pyramids right here. No, the mountains are technically in a different area. Never mind. All right. All right. Never mind. So, idle army over here. You've kind of done your thing. I guess we just go ahead and set you to auto-explore. Apparently, there's another curiosity over there. Sure enough. And that actually helped me finish up calendar just now. Well, that's pretty good. So, we want to be building these artisans' quarters. And we can go ahead and place one there. And one here. And one here. And one here, which these are the ambergris, so we get some extra science as well as some stability. That's good. That's really good. Yeah, actually, this is fantastic. We've got a lot of luxuries coming into Memphis. So 3 incense, it just keeps stacking up, which means we're going to get ourselves another 12 stability in Memphis. Plus, its wondrous effects just means like lots of extra money and stuff straight out. If we can get, let's see, 4 out of 8 deposits. We have to own like all of them. Never mind, we don't care about that. Either way, on all cities, we'll get some buffs. That's pretty good. New science. So do we want to go for domestication now? Answer's yes. Because I think I'll be able to get enough influence soon-ish to turn this into a city. Followed, though, by working as aggressively as we can toward organized warfare. And city defense wouldn't be bad. I'd like to get the warriors, and I'd like to be able to get palisades and walls and stuff, but I'm going to have to take a risk. Do I, though? Hang on, let me think about that for a second. I'm just thinking, we're placing a city really close to the enemy AI. There's actually a very good chance that we need to get city defense first. All right, we'll try for that. So what's going on over here? Hello, Hittites. So you want to trade luxuries. Okay. Might as well. And everyone else can go and move and do whatever the heck else you want. I don't really care too much. It's fine. So you guys are still heading off in this direction. I think we can go ahead and end our turn at this point. So you guys I can set to auto-explore for at least a bit. World Deed unlocked. Someone else has got Sacred Ground, which I think means they're starting up a religion, technically. We're under attack over here, huh? What is it, an elk? I say we retreat. We don't need to fight over this. Yeah, it was an elk. Oh, it was a bear. Never mind. Yeah, run away from bear. Don't need to fight bear. Bear is mean. Bear, we win nothing from killing, I don't think. Okay, so Memphis is going to start getting some of this good stuff. We have domestication done. I think we just got a star. Okay, era scientist. That's great. So let's see what else we can work on here. So if we can get 3 more techs, we'll get a 2nd star. Still nowhere near having the militarist stars I'm looking for. Get more territory and we'll be fine. Need a lot more influence. Making progress on population, but it's going to be a bit. And then 1 more district built. I think the Artisans district technically counts, so there we go. 2 Egyptians. The Mycenaeans have a special interest in this place. So do the Hittites. Well, thank you for letting me know that you really want my incense. I would be happy to trade it with you at some point. Horse Ranch. So here's a fun thing. If you don't build a city, you could spend your influence to just outright exploit some of the different tiles. In this case, Horse Ranch. So I can just spend some of my influence just like that. We technically now have another district, hence why I got another Era Star. And it's not going to cost me any industry to build it. So if you have some spare influence, that's often a better way to go. In the meantime, though, let's go back to Memphis and just take a look. So my stability is plummeting pretty badly. We're heading down toward 54% because I annexed this extra section. Admittedly, that is pretty bad. That is pretty bad. Let's see. Science-wise, We could start growing a bit, but then I would lose out on getting this all in one turn. I want to get through tech as fast as we can. I think we'll just have to take that risk. All right. So these guys are now going to be heading home. Forget it. Just go home and heal up or something. Now, we can use these units to actually chop down forests and get myself some extra industry, which is kind of nice. There's some extra incense done. All right. City defense has been researched. Good. Game. Oh, okay. I have had the game crash on me randomly before, and that's no good. Found some more money. Okay, good. So as far as technology, now we are going to be working on organized warfare. Following that, what else do we want to do? Well, the wheel wouldn't be bad. It would let me get my unique unit, especially since we are going to have horses. Writing would let me start getting some extra science per researcher, and we are making use of that right now. Spearmen, bronzeworking, watchtowers, forge. Yeah, we do actually have copper that we could exploit if I get the right tech. This could be pretty good. And Maker's Quarters would get extra industry and stuff too. I think we want to get organized warfare first. Then we want to get bronze working. Then maybe the wheel, to be honest, followed by writing irrigation. We'll play that one by ear later, but I mean, I think that's kind of what we're going to end up going for. So that's the horses done. Question, can we build... No, I can't build this on the copper. Okay. Yeah, we'd have to get the bronze working tech first. So we're going to finish up this artisan's quarter in no time flat. Then beyond that, I think we do want to go ahead and build out a pyramid district, let's say right over here. Followed by... I don't need this. I just don't think I'm going to ever have anybody working on that. Farmer's quarters, we don't have very many, so this will only give me a tiny bit of food, like 2. Probably better to be getting things like walls for palisades. Or, of course, just double up on Maker's Quarters, but again, it just keeps costing me stability. We can't do this forever. I can't keep losing all my stability. I guess we could maybe go for palisades, but pretty soon we need to go for things like the public fountains. The flooded lands. An unrelenting deluge of rainfall lashes down upon the great city of Memphis and the surrounding lands. If rains don't stop soon, the banks of the Great River are going to burst. Gamble? No. Spend a lot of money? Chance of good consequences. You know, it just makes sense that the Egyptians would learn how to work with the rivers on the Nile. Well, in this case, just a dike around Memphis. But, yeah, let's go for that. So next turn, maybe we find out we get something good to happen out of that. So you guys should now be able to heal since you are in my territory. And I think these other guys may be going a little bit too far. Although they did just find some animal remains, and apparently there's another curiosity right over here. So, I mean, they're finding things. The AI knows how to beeline. I'll give them that. Hello, units. What are you guys doing here? Okay. So 160 is what I need in order to turn this into a city. Might be a little while. These guys might come and try to pillage this. I could see that happening. Let's start sending you guys down this direction. We need some extra reinforcements. He might decide to become a thorn in my side here. All right, Thabit gets some extra population. And it sure looks like he's going around it. Okay, that's good.
Follow me.
Good, yeah, I do want you to stay away from there if at all possible. Please don't burn this stuff down. I need to turn this into a city. Not in the mood to deal with it. All right, 2 turns left on this. Let's see, 4 turns on the next round of tech. We could reduce that by 1. Alternatively, I could go for extra population in 1 turn. Is that worth it to me right now? I don't think so. I think it's better to just kind of focus on getting some extra science going and make this down to 3 turns. Can we show some civics? Oh, good. We finally have these. Why have these not been popping up for me? I thought they would. All right. Customary laws or codified laws. Legitimacy. Do you want to make outposts cheaper to make, which would have been very nice to have earlier, or we can make it cheaper to absorb cities and outposts? So it's a question of which one do we want to spend some influence on in order to make cheaper. Actually, neither of these help me right now because I've already created the outposts I want. What about founding myths? Ah, here we go. This is actually worth it to me. So we could start working on faith and try to get a religion and polytheism, but I think I'm going to go for natural rights for the extra +5 influence. And what this is going to do is start moving me toward progress. These are the different ideologies of the game, and there's sliding scales for different things between collectivism and individualism, homeland and the world, liberty versus authority, tradition, and progress. And as you make come into different tiers of these ideologies, you get different perks. For example, if we stay straight in the middle, we get 10 stability on all cities in each of these. You move out of this, you lose some stability, but we start getting some extra science. Or you head toward, let's say, tradition, you start getting some faith. My personal opinion, collectivism, liberty, and progress are the best 3 ideologies for some extra science, influence, and industry. And then you can swap between either homeland or between world, depending on if you want food for raw productivity to grow tall, or if you think you're going to be fighting anybody. Alternatively, you can always just stay in the middle, and that's fine. In this case, I actually really need influence, so I'm going to go ahead and pass that, and that's going to codify our first civic in the game. Okay. Population gain, yeah, we already are aware of that, and, okay, Thebes will enter the sphere of influence. Well, that's annoying. I don't know what that means exactly, though. I think it's fine. Let's see. We're going to ignore this for the moment, because I need to save up some of my... I'm going to move you here, I guess. I need to save up some of my influence rather than spend it all right now on civics. So we're going to ignore some of that. So these guys up over here. Let's go ahead and grab this now. There's a lot of mammoths out here. More gold. Yippee. All right, time to start heading back home. Head this direction, though. Looks like they already have 2 cities, or they've attached 2 districts to their city, which is fine. That's what I've already been doing, obviously. Go to the next turn, see what's going to happen. Mammoth's still marching around. These guys are fighting my local wildlife. I'm actually thinking we're going to go ahead and attack him right now. He's probably going to retreat. And this will generate grievances. But I think we can just kill him and punish him and make him lose a unit. There we go. So he has now war grievances to use against me, which means he could go to war, and he's building up war enthusiasm, but, I mean, we just denied him a unit, and I think that's probably a good thing, even if it means we're not going to be friendly with my neighbor anytime soon, because let's be honest, these guys are militarists, we're not going to be friendly with them anyway, right? So, okay, 2 more turns, and we can get Thebes to turn into a city, and then we'll want to go ahead and maybe grab another district over here and attach it to this city, or something. The flooded lands, we get bountiful, lots of extra food, like lots and lots of extra food. Okay, so this city is going to grow very, very fast all of a sudden. That's pretty good. Stability is up to 66%. It's definitely getting better. I mean, it's devolving right now, but like we actually have pretty decent stability. Yeah, you just don't want to get too low. If you get too low in your stability, bad things happen. So there's some extra population there. Now we're working on palisades. They just built something over here. Looks like a district, administrative center. Okay. This doesn't make a huge difference, but I think we just focus everything on science right now, because I need more tech to get more useful stuff. We can create a religion. Okay, cool. I'm going to go ahead and grab polytheism, which gives me faith for every number of attached territories, which in this case is 2. Alternatively, shamanism, but I'm pretty sure we have 5 pops, and 5 faith is not as good as having 10. So we're going to go for polytheism. Boom. And now we're going to have a religion start to develop. This we'll start converting our territory off to our religion over time. And we'll be able to go for some tenants eventually as we start gaining additional faith. And these can be nice. Weird thing in the game, though. Faith is kind of weird. It almost always becomes useless at some points, because the game assumes you're going to move towards secularism or state atheism, at which point religion literally becomes a useless feature. It's just kind of weird to me that there is no, like, other option. You can't have state religion in the late game. Once you get to the modern era, it just assumes that everyone is going to just get rid of religion entirely. Which, I mean, it's not that it's not historically based to an extent. It's just like, that's an interesting choice. I don't know, maybe that's just me. All right, so we can turn this into a city as of now, which we're going to go ahead and do. Doink! Now we have a city. We could go for the Obelisk of the Gods, which gets me stability as well as some faith. A cultural wonder. Sounds pretty nice, but I also think that I need to be getting more pyramids. You need to go to industry. And we can't get a lot. What about farming? That's not a lot of food either. Good lord, these are terrible. We could go for the stoneworks, but I think what we really want to do is get the pottery workshop so I can get extra influence production. Stoneworks wouldn't be bad in the sense that we would definitely get a little bit out of this, but I think that a pyramid would be better. So we'll probably build one over here next. I think this is what we're going to have to work on for a while. And then we'll set this to my expert policy, which prioritizes industry, then science, then food, then gold. Okay. In Memphis, I definitely want to get the Obelisk of the Gods. And this is a district that we can place that is just going to get me stability and stuff, which we already know that I need. So I might as well place you. I guess I could place you up over here where we don't have any immediate use for any other districts. Sure, why not? An obelisk right up over here, overlooking the cliffs. That sounds picturesque. It's a very good idea. You guys have no idea where you're going anymore. Okay, tell you what. I just want you to head over this direction, okay? I don't care how you get there, just head off in that direction. Please and thank you. This district appears to have been handed off to the city as well. And actually, based on the way the borders are working, I think he does have 2 cities already. Okay, so the AI has 2 cities. That puts them in a slight advantage over me. Because having more cities just is good. It means you got extra production and stuff. It's important to do that. We're getting close to getting 3 more stars. Which, once we get up to, I think this is 7, yep, we would be able to move on to the next era and adopt a new culture. You don't have to do that. It's debatable, I think, whether it's worth immediately jumping into the next culture. But sometimes it is. And you at least like to have the option, if nothing else. What is this, by the way? Exploitation, Rocky Field. Oh, okay. Well, good. That means the pyramids are working that. All right. One more turn then on this. Now, cultural wonders, I think cities can actually contribute together. So we can actually have both of our cities contributing both their production toward building this. Very helpful when you're building important actual cultural wonders. Very helpful. So you're now in a position where I could set up an outpost, and we definitely want to set one up over here and attach that to this city to make it a little bit stronger. So we're going to do that. New event, Game of Prophecy. With the Empire thriving, a new game hailing from a foreign land beguiles the population everywhere you go. The distinctive game board and pieces catching your eye. All right. So let's see. I am fated to lose everything. We could become defiant and lose stability for 10 turns. We could become superstitious and lose science, or I could just pay people off. Better to pay people off, to be honest. I don't think it's worth losing the important stats. And yes, that means we're moving a little bit more toward like authority or something, but I can't be bothered to micromanage the... I can't be bothered to micromanage all of the, what am I trying to say? Ideologies. That's what I'm trying to say. By the way, let's take a look at civics, because maybe now we actually do want to do something here. So, attaching an outpost would cost what, do we think? Are we going to save more by saving on attaching or by creating? I think we're going to save more influence if I go for creating outposts, because we have a lot more outposts to go. So that should make it a lot cheaper for me to establish this outpost that I wanted to place, and now it's only going to cost 20. Yeah, way better, way better. Okay. Glad that I got that. That's going to save me tons. So there's our Obelisk of the Gods. That's 20 stability as well as a lot more faith being generated. Excelente. So this brings my stability up to a more moderate position of 75 to 76. We can't put anybody else in science. That's not an option. We're about to have the population grow again. It is probably time to start getting some units. The Pecking of Poultry. Celebrating for some stability for 10 turns. Fanatical for faith. Learning for science. How much science am I making technically right now? 34? So this is a pretty small increase. It's not huge. I'm thinking we don't need the stability. I could go for the faith. The faith would let me start getting some tenants a little bit faster. But 2 cities, that's 10 science. Okay, reason's better. Let's go for that. I mean, stability's good, but as long as it doesn't go below a certain point, are we really that worried about it? And the answer's probably not. Please place. Oh, look. Another curiosity. I'm going to have you go join up with this group as of next turn. And once this outpost is done, we will definitely be attaching them. Okay. Things are looking pretty good so far, I'm not going to lie. We're definitely growing a fair bit. I would love to establish a 3rd city up in this direction and go over my limit. Yes, that costs me influence, but I think it's worth it. And there's definitely enough strategic and luxuries up in this area, like let's say right over here, and then attach these 2 territories, 3 territories even. If we want some copper, some horses, and more copper, oh my gosh. Yeah, if we were to settle up over here somewhere, that'd be great. The question is if we can find enough food and industry to really make it worth our while, but I think we probably could. Yeah, a 3rd city up in this direction would be fan-flippin-tastic. But we're really at risk of our enemies attacking me. Thebes is starting to lose some population. Okay, why? Well, it's going to regain that pretty much right away. Yeah, we're having some food issues over here for sure. Can I simply go ahead and attach? No. 1 more turn on this. Okay. We get a bit of extra money. We'll go ahead and stack these guys up so they run together. And I guess we could take this over and also hand it off to Thebes, and that would get me access to some gold as well as some saffron, which extra stability is good. Alternatively, hello, another curiosity right next to the first one. Okay. In Memphis, we have 137 industry. We're also running out of food because we have too much population, but that's fine. Copper mine. Yes, please. Get me that. Okay, so we'll work on getting those, followed by... We can't get the forge until we get copper, but I'll be able to do that soon. We'll also be able to get a barracks, which means cheaper units. I am thinking we should probably also follow this up with the animal barns for a little bit of extra food from a farmer's quarter. We could go for the stoneworks. I guess I'm okay with that, followed by probably a couple of archers. I think that's going to be our agenda in Memphis for at least a little bit. And then these guys finally found their way up over here. Cool. I'm going to set you guys to auto-explore again for a little bit. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. We're going to start getting home. We're going to start going home. Because I think that we're going to want to put together a stack of 4 units pretty soon. I just have a feeling in my head that these guys will probably be attacking me soon. It really just wouldn't surprise me. But we'll see. There's the Builder Star there, okay. Thebes has also converted to my version of polytheism, and they just took this territory. Okay. Now, see, I don't like that. We could go and try to ransack them, though that would obviously make them very angry, but I'm kind of okay with it because I don't want them taking this and cutting me off from getting additional land. I also do not want them getting any extra luxury resources, if at all possible. This we can now attach to Thebes, which we will go ahead and do. So just like that, Thebes becomes a fair bit more reasonable. So now we're producing a fair bit of industry. Not a ton, but I mean, it's still something. And then, yeah, we could set up some additional pyramids, let's say over here, and I think that's probably worth it. Followed by, it's not a lot of food. It's really not. I'm not sure how I feel about all of this. Huh. Well... We'll come back to that next time. I think we're about done with this particular video. Maybe I can get over here and just aggressively settle an outpost. No, we need to get our people together and just get these guys kicked out. Get these guys kicked out. That's the top priority. Then we move over here and try to establish a 3rd city. Thank you all very much for watching. I do hope that you enjoyed this video, and you hope that I'm making some good decisions. If I'm not, well, then go ahead and yell at me in the comments section, because that's what you're here for. Hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.